Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Elias guided Noah and Vincent through secret tunnels to rescue Rhys and Juniper from a dark warlock ritual. A fierce fight ensued, but they were forced to escape as the stronghold collapsed, leaving Trinity trapped. Now, with the stronghold in ruins, how can they reach Trinity? What was her purpose to the warlocks? And what have they done to her? And where will the warlocks strike next? The forest was eerily silent as Rhys led the group away from the crumbling fortress. His mind was consumed with thoughts of Trinity. Every instinct told him to turn back, to charge into the wreckage and dig until he found her, but he knew it wasn't that simple. The warlocks had taken her deeper into the abyss of their magic, somewhere beyond reach, for now. Juniper staggered, leaning against Noah for support. She was still weak from the warlock's spell, her body fighting against the remnants of dark magic that clung to her veins. Vincent's sharp eyes scanned the darkness, ever watchful for pursuers. Elias brought up the rear, muttering incantations under his breath, hiding their presence from any remaining warlocks. "We need to move faster," Rhys growled, his frustration boiling over. Elias shot him a warning glance. "You charge in without a plan, and you'll get her killed." Rhys's fists clenched. He knew Elias was right, but every second wasted felt like a blade twisting deeper into his gut. "We rest for an hour," Noah said. "Then we figure out where the hell they took Trinity." Rhys didn't like it, but he had no choice. Trinity floated in a void of darkness, her mind tethered to something ancient. She felt no pain, no time, just whispers, hundreds of them, clawing at her sanity, speaking in tongues she didn't understand. She tried to move, but her body wasn't her own anymore. A shadowed figure stepped forward from the abyss. A woman draped in robes darker than midnight, her face obscured by a silver mask. "You are the key," the woman murmured, her voice both soothing and chilling. "You will set us free." Trinity's heart pounded. "No." The woman tilted her head, amused. "You won't have a choice." And then the pain returned. Rhys awoke with a start, sweat dripping from his brow. He had seen her, felt her agony. He had no doubt the warlocks were still keeping her alive, but for what purpose? He had to find her before it was too late. Elias spread a tattered map across the forest floor. "There's one place they could have taken her," he said, pointing to an unmarked stretch of land deep within the cursed territories. "The Hollow Vale. It's a place where magic and reality bleed into each other." Rhys didn't hesitate. "Then that's where we go." Vincent exhaled sharply. "You do realize no one comes back from there?" Rhys's eyes burned with resolve. "Then we'll be the first." The journey to the Hollow Vale was treacherous. The land itself resisted them. Trees shifted when they weren't looking. The ground swallowed their footprints. The deeper they ventured, the more reality frayed at the edges. Shadows moved without bodies. Whispers called to them in voices they knew. At the edge of the Hollow Vale, Elias stopped. "This is where I leave you." Rhys turned on him. "You got us this far. You don't get to walk away." Elias held his gaze. "If I go in there, I won't come back." For a long moment, Rhys said nothing. Then he nodded. "Then tell me how to find her." Elias pressed a silver talisman into his palm. "Follow the screams." The moment they crossed into the Hollow Vale, the air grew impossibly heavy. Juniper stumbled, gripping Vincent's arm as visions assaulted her mind, memories that weren't hers. Rhys felt it too, the pull of something dark, something feeding on their very existence. The screams started as whispers, growing louder with each step. But when they finally reached the source, Trinity wasn't there. Instead, they found a decoy, a magical construct meant to lure them into another trap. The warlocks knew they were coming. The air split with laughter, dark and mocking. "Did you really think we'd make it that easy, Alpha?" Rhys's rage ignited. "We end this." They left behind only a chilling inscription. "The key is broken." Rhys stared at the words, a cold dread settling in his gut. What did they mean? Had they already used Trinity, discarding her now that her purpose was fulfilled? Was she even alive? And what terrifying consequence awaited them all now that the key was broken?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.
Rhys's group pursued Trinity into the Hollow Vale. a realm of twisted magic after she was taken by warlocks. They braved illusions and mental attacks, only to find a decoy and a cryptic warning. What does that mean for Trinity, and what dark power has been unleashed? The battlefield within the Hollow Veil was a nightmare come to life. Rhys tore through them, his wolf clawing to break free. Every swing of his claws left trails of glowing embers in the air, but for every warlock that fell, another two took their place. The longer they fought, the more it became clear. This wasn't a battle meant to be won. It was a test, a trap meant to wear them down. Then the ground beneath them shifted. The Hollow Veil itself was reacting to their presence, warping the landscape. "We need to get out of here," Juniper shouted, narrowly dodging a bolt of magic that left a searing scar across the stone beside her. "There's no way out," Elias murmured, his eyes scanning the labyrinth's ever-changing walls. "Not unless we play by their rules." Rhys's jaw clenched. He could feel Trinity, somewhere beyond these cursed walls. He wasn't leaving without her. The labyrinth seemed to stretch on forever, twisting paths leading them in circles. The warlocks had disappeared, but their presence lingered in the whispers that floated through the air, each voice carrying hints of laughter and sorrow. Vincent pressed a hand against a wall, his fingers tracing the runes etched into the stone. "They're using the veil itself as a prison. It's alive." Noah frowned. "And it's trying to break us." Rhys barely heard them. The whispers had changed. They weren't warlocks anymore. They were trinities. It was feeding on his desperation. "We keep moving," he growled, forcing himself forward, "before it turns us against each other." Juniper stumbled, her breath ragged. "I swear we've passed this wall before." Noah exhaled sharply. "Because we have. It's resetting every time we think we're making progress." The realization settled over them like a weight. They weren't lost. They were being kept. Rhys slammed his fist into the wall, rage vibrating through his body. "I can feel her. She's close." Elias looked at him, an unreadable expression on his face. "Then why haven't they let you find her?" The question cut through the fog of fury in Rhys's mind. Why? If the warlocks wanted him to suffer, why not show him Trinity's true form? Unless... "They're keeping her from me," he whispered, the thought tasting like ash in his mouth. "Not because I can't find her, but because they don't want me to see what they've done to her." The shadows around them thickened, the laughter returning, and suddenly, Trinity's voice was no longer pleading. It was warning him. Trinity hung in the void, suspended in chains that glowed with magic she didn't understand. She could feel them working through her, binding her soul to something greater, something ancient. Her body was not her own. She had fought at first. She had clawed against the darkness, screamed against the magic, but the warlocks had been patient. They didn't need her to submit. They just needed time. Now, when she opened her eyes, she saw through 1,000 visions. She saw Rhys fighting through the labyrinth, his fury tearing through the walls the warlocks had built between them. She saw his desperation, his blind determination to reach her, and she wanted to call out, to warn him, but the voice that left her lips wasn't hers anymore. "He's coming," she whispered, her own voice hollow in her ears. The warlocks standing before her smiled. "Yes," one of them murmured, "and when he does, he'll have no choice but to break." Rhys's vision blurred as they turned another corner, and then they saw it. At the center of the labyrinth stood a massive doorway, its frame carved from obsidian, runes pulsing with power. Beyond it, a throne sat in the darkness, woven from shadows and lined with chains. And there, bound at its base, was Trinity, but she did not look like the mate he remembered. Rhys staggered forward. "Trinity." She lifted her gaze to him, something unrecognizable in her expression. "Leave," she whispered, and then the doors slammed shut between them. Rhys and his group are left reeling. What has become of Trinity? Is she truly lost to the warlocks? Or is there a way to break their hold? And what awaits them beyond the obsidian doors? What is the purpose of the Hollow Throne? And what dark command is Trinity now bound to fulfill?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.
Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.